Hello everybody, welcome along. Today is Saturday the 4th of July. This is our noonday snack. If you're watching on catch up, then if this isn't the one you want, then scoot your way back, find the one that you do want, and I'll see you again on the catch up a little bit later on. If you are going to stay with us, then stay with us for our preamble. Have a little chat. For anybody who is coming in from stateside, then happy Independence Day to yourselves. Let me know what you've been up to since this morning, since you saw Kelsey at 8 a.m. Any more nursery rhymes been hatching in our heads? Apart from head, shoulders, knees and toes, side bends, rotations, that sort of stuff. Don't know where she gets it from. Don't know where she has the time. Good old Kelsey. Keeping us entertained as well. I wish I could do the same. Hung my air guitar up a while ago. So, say hello. I know we've got a couple of people who are on board at the moment. Let me know how you are, what you've been up to, how things are with you. It's a cloudy day here in Coventry. Bit of a day today. A little bit windy, cloudy. We've had a bit of spit spots of rain. It's going to be one of those weekends, I think. How are things where you are? Good? Weather any better? Let me know. Be good to know. And how have you been? How have you been getting on this morning? Have you managed to crowbar in any activities from this morning? Any of those mobilities? And of course, our circulation booster is a real good thing to do. Anytime you've been sat down for a little while, give yourself a little bit of a circulation booster when you get up before you start doing anything else. It's our new day snack. This is where we look at strength and balance. I asked you to bring a towel, didn't I? And I haven't got one. So bear with me a second and I will get myself a towel. I'll be back. I'm back. What am I like, eh? I ask you to bring something and I don't even bring it myself. So a towel or a tea towel, old pair of socks, anything you've got there that we can use to give us a little bit of resistance. All right, so we're going to use that in a moment. It's a good job I told you basically what we're going to do, wasn't it? So balance and strength. We're going to do some balance as far as our legs are concerned, and we're going to do some strength as far as our arms and our wrists are concerned. That's us for our snack. So our second opportunity to get some activity into our day. I've got comments coming up now. I wasn't getting them before. Hi, Christine. Horrible day where you are as well. It's going to be a bit of a yucky day everywhere, I think. Raining in Llanelli from Christine. Good afternoon to you, Christine. Welcome aboard. Anybody else want to come on and say hello to us? Let us know how you are, what you've been up to, how things are with you before we go for our 3, 2, 1. So this is our noonday snack. Our second opportunity to put some additional movement minutes into our benefits bag. So over and above everything else we're already doing during our day, an opportunity to put some additional benefits into there, add on to those days, and leave you with some opportunities to be able to crowbar in additional activity as well. Good afternoon, Brian. Good to have you with us. The collective is in. Good afternoon, Gillian from a very wet Port Talbot again. Housework and prepped lunch this morning. That's good. Hi, Maddie. Good to have you with us. Sheila's in. So that's the rest of the collective in. Jean from Edinburgh. Good afternoon to you. Cold where you are. Hi, Kathy. Good to have you on board. We've got a couple of minutes yet before we get ourselves going. Yesterday, I think there was a little bit of a buzz on the feed for some reason, and I don't know why. I've checked everything. Everything seems to be okay, but if you do hear that little buzz in the background, let me know, because I'll do some more investigating. So good to have you on board. Who else have we got? Anybody else joining us? Let's just see whether we've got any more comments coming through before we get ourselves ready to go. Now, before we get ourselves ready to go, if you want to lose the comments, then you can scoop them to the right and the comments will disappear off for you. And then you can see everything, so you'll be able to see my feet as well, which is really quite important. Before we do anything, we're going to do a circulation booster just to give our circulation, as it says, a bit of a boost. Hi Rita, you're in. Very windy here and cool with showers. Nice to have your towel to dry up. Yeah, exactly. Double whammy there for us. All right, so if you want to lose the comments, swipe them to the right. We'll have a circulation booster before we start, but before we do that, we'll have a quick check of our posture. Remember, you can do this in a seated position, in an active seated position, or in a standing position. The choice is yours. If you're going to do it in a standing position, make sure you've got some support available to you, some external support. And as always, I've got a hat tray here, I've got a chair here, and I've got a table here, so lots of support around me. Chair-wise, we want a good, sturdy chair. Dining room chair, something like that is ideal. Posture, we're going to stand with our heels in line with our hips, lift the shoulders up, back and down, pressing them down towards our hips again, bringing the shoulder blades together. And as we do that, we grow an inch between our ribs and our hips. So standing tall, lengthening through our neck, chin parallel with the floor as well. Knees staying soft, okay? In our seated position, first thing we need to make sure is we're in the front third of our chair. So if we sat at the back, let's have a little hip walk into the front third of the chair. Our knees are in line with our heels, and our knees are then in line with our hips as well. Again, growing an inch between our ribs and our hips by lifting those shoulders up, taking the back, bringing the shoulder blades together and pressing them down. I think Bex always talks about as if you're going to put them into the back pockets, yeah? That's the motion that we want, opening our chest. Let's start with a circulation booster. So in our standing or in our seating position, a foot pedal to start off with. Coming up onto the balls of the feet, onto the toes, and coming through to our heels. So really think about and feel that motivation and that mobility within your ankle, feet and toes. Yeah. So come up, so there's a crease just behind your toes, onto the ball, and then down through into the heel. In a seated position, exactly the same. If you feel ready for it, bring it into a march. And with your march, you're going to lift the foot slightly off the floor, point the toes towards the floor, again coming down onto your toes, rolling through to the ball of the foot and then through to your heels. So it's a good controlled movement going all the way through that foot, thinking about your ankle, feet and toes. Now in a seated position, you may find that can become a little bit hard work, a bit tiresome here into your hip flexors. It's quite a big move, that march in a seated position. So you can stay with your heel lift, your foot pedal, or you can take it to a tap in front with your toes. Whichever works for you is the one that you want to go with, okay? From there, let's put an arm in, and the arm is swinging from our shoulder. So we're driving back, elbow relatively at 90 degrees, driving back with the arm, so we get that mobility into our shoulders. In our standing position, if we're doing one arm at a time, every now and again, take a pause, take as many steps as you need to change to the other side, and away you go on the other side. If you feel steady and stable in the standing position, let's bring both arms in and thinking about our posture still. So thinking about standing tall, lifting that extra inch between your ribs and your hips, bringing the shoulders back and down, opening this rib cage. Now a circulation booster is all about getting the blood pumping around the body a bit more, warming ourselves a little bit, mobilizing our joints, warming the muscles so we're ready to do the activity that we're going to do. In our seated position, exactly the same with your foot pedals and both arms if you can. Do what feels comfortable for yourself, and then let's take a little pause there. We should feel as though we just want to take a bit of a deep breath. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We don't want to be feeling too out of breath. Have a little roll of those shoulders, bring them back into our good posture again, and let's have a look at our first movement for today. So, our starting position, we did this earlier in the week, pushing up onto our toes, okay, on the balls of the feet. So have a look from behind and have a look at my feet, okay? I'm pushing straight up and straight down. We want to make sure that we don't come out to the side. So we're not letting the feet come out at all. It's straight up and straight down. In our seated position, exactly the same. We can push up onto the balls of the feet and down. You will feel this in your calf. Now what you don't want to do is come forward, all right? So as you push up, lift. Have your support there if you need it. If you feel okay, if you feel you want to give it a go, then have your support available to you, but don't actually use it. So have your hand available ready to take that support option if you need to, okay? Right, we're going to take it a stage further. So have a look firstly and see how you feel about it. Pushing up onto the toes, keeping the eye line to the front, we're going to start to take some steps. Little steps, making sure we stay onto the balls of the feet. Now, when you get to the end of your support, make sure your feet are in line and lower down. Okay? In our seated position, the option for us there, bring our feet back a little bit, just behind, so that heels are just behind our knees. Lift onto your toes, and you're going to take 3 little steps forward, and then 3 steps backwards. Yeah? And you can change the leg that you lead with firstly every time, so you get a bit of a bigger range of motion on that leg. You're sitting in the front third of the chair. If you found yourself going backwards in that chair a little bit, bring yourself forward so you've got that room for the legs to move. Okay, give it a go. Have your support available. Use it if you need it, okay? If you want to give it a go without using it, then make sure it's there still so you can place a hand down. And also don't be afraid to take a step out. So if you feel at all that you're going to lose your balance, come out. Far better that we focus on the technique as far as this is concerned. So that's that heel raise that we talked about as far as lifting to put something into a cupboard. Okay, taking the support away if we need to, take those steps forward and keep the eye line to the front. Don't be afraid to use your support if you need it, okay? Down. Now, if you're in your standing position, you've reached the end of your support, don't go any further. Bring the heels down onto the floor, take as many steps as you need to turn to face the other way, and we can take it back the other way. So again, lifting onto our toes, eye line to the front, and taking those little steps. We reach the end of our support, feet in line, lower down in a controlled manner. Make sure your knees stay soft as well. So as you lift up, look, we're not locking the knees out. That will start to send us a bit off balance because we've got rigidity there. We want the knees slightly soft, and we take those little steps forward, line the feet up and lower down. Move number 1. Okay, from there, let's bring ourselves down into our seated position. So everybody's going to come into a seated position for this one. We're going to work into the back of our arm. Now I will show you an option you can do in a standing position as well. But let's focus on the seated position to start off with, and then you can utilise that standing position to have a go at afterwards if you want to. So if we're coming from our standing to seated, we're going to bring ourselves down into the chair, controlled manner, and then a hip walk to the front third of the chair. Got my towel here. With my towel, I'm just going to sort of scrunch it up. There, okay. Holding my hand here and my hand there. What I'm going to do, I've got a little bit of tension in the towel firstly, and then I'm going to press back a bit further. Now, have a look at the shoulders. They're staying square. Yeah, so I'm not twisting any further to do this. I've got a little bit of a twist because I'm bringing this arm across. And from there, I'm just pressing back towards the back of the chair, keeping the elbows slightly soft and releasing out. Yeah. If you find that difficult with the towel, an option you have is to actually do the press yourself. So resist against it and feel that into the back of the arm. But again, don't twist. All right. So that motion there, and you're going to do about 5 to 8 on one side, just to get the feel of it and feel how that movement is, so you get used to it. And then as you get towards doing a few more, you'll start to feel the benefits of it a bit more. Once you've done that, change to the other side. Now, I said I would show you a standing option, but I want you to do it really in a seated position. This is for later for you. If you've got some support available, we can stand with our hands on the support and bring ourselves in, keeping the elbows tucked in. So as you let yourself come forward, the elbows are staying tucked in. All right, So I'm here, I've got my support, my heels stay down on the floor. I let myself come in and I push back. Make sure your elbows stay in then. So this is something perhaps you could have a go at in the kitchen if you're talking about crowbarring. Either we've got a kitchen wall or we've got the kitchen work surface, hands in, coming forward and back. Have a go at that as an option if you want to a little bit later on. That's a crowbar option for you, okay? That's our second movement. So once you've done it on one side, have a go on the other side. And again, in your seated position, either with your towel, anchoring it onto your knee or thigh and pressing back. Yep. Now, something like a pair of socks might be more beneficial here for you because you'll get that extra bit of movement. But remember, what you can do also is you can utilise your own arm and push it back. But you want to feel it here, not in the shoulder. It's not a movement into the shoulder, it's here. So to try and feel that, imagine that you're pushing something back behind you. So don't just take the arm back, imagine you're having to push something back and feel that resistance into that muscle yourself. So you feel it into the back of your arm. Again, around about 5 to 8, purely because not dictating the speed, the amount that you do, but the first few, you're probably going to get the feeling of it. And then as you take it a little bit further into those, you'll start to actually feel that working in them. Right, our last one for today. Again, we're in a seated position. Again, with our towel or your socks, whichever. Fold it up, yeah. So I've lengthened it and I've sort of folded it in half. So it's got some squish in it. All right, here we're going to place one hand on top of the other, like that, like the one potato, two potato. Elbows tucked in and squeeze. So the first thing I'm going to come up close so you can see. First thing I'm doing, look, is squeezing the towel. So tightening and releasing. Yep, that's our first movement. This is about building strength into our wrists. Second movement, we squeeze and then bring the forearms together. So bring the elbows in towards your body. So can you see that movement there? Look. So I squeeze and I bring the elbows in towards myself. So I'm taking the hands and the wrists in towards each other. So there's your movement there, look. Don't do it in this position, but so you can see. So that's your twist, not the other way. All right, so we start there and we twist in. Release and release. All right, now, as you've got that squeeze and as you've got that twist, you're going to feel this into your forearms and into your wrist. And what we're trying to do, what we're working on here, is our strength within our wrist. So think about opening jars, opening bottles, turning taps, all those sorts of things. It's about building the strength within that wrist. Okay, last one to take it a stage further then, if you feel like it, if you feel you want to. You've got your squeeze, you've got your twist, and then try and pull the hands slightly apart. Now there's not a great deal of movement there, but you'll feel it. So again, let me come in closer and you can see. So I've got a twist, a squeeze, sorry, a twist in, and then look at that little bit of gap. Yeah, so I'm pulling apart, releasing, releasing, releasing. With that, you will feel it into your forearms as well. Now, with that last move, do a few on one side and then change your hands over. So the other hand is on top. So again, into your one potato, two potato position, squeeze, twist in, pull apart slightly. And it's a small move. You may not even see any movement with that pull apart, but you will feel it, okay? And again, it's about building that strength into our wrists. All right, there we go. That's your 3 movements for today. So, have a go at them. With the walk, see how you feel with it, okay? Utilize your support if you need to. If you feel you can lose the support as far as actually holding on all the time is concerned, make sure it's there for you so you can place your hand down if you need to. Sometimes just a little touch of the wall or the work surface or the wall support will be enough. It's not necessarily that you need to put your hands down onto it. Sometimes just that little touch helps you regain your sense of balance. If you need to take a step out, take a step out, okay? Your back of the arm press, utilise your towel or a pair of old socks. There is an opportunity to do some crowbarring in later on as far as a work surface is concerned, but if you do, elbows tucked in, you want to feel it into the back of your arms. If you take your hands out here, you're going to feel it into your shoulders and your chest. You want to isolate into this part of your arm. What do we use it for? If we reach and pick something up, we're utilising that part of the muscle. We tend to use the front of our arms a lot with picking things and bringing them towards us, but if we reach and come round, if we have to come round our back to do something, so if we have to grab something from behind us, perhaps even just reaching into the back seat of the car to grab something, you're utilising that muscle. So it's something there. And our wrists, obviously, we want to build good, strong wrists. That's me done for today. Look for those opportunities to crowbar in those additional activities throughout the rest of the day. Keep crowbarring them in. Keep adding those additional minutes into your benefits bag. Okay. This has been our noon lunchtime snack. I will see you tomorrow at noon as well. You take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.